Hi students and friends, this is your host and teacher Sayyid Ayazuddin Heather. You're watching Learn and Teach by Sir Ayaz. So I was doing O-level past papers and it was 5070. Variant is 21 for October, November 2024 and I'm done till question number 4. So I will continue from question number 5. Question number 5. A student adds large pieces of copper 2 carbonate to dilute hydrochloric acid. The copper 2 carbonate is in excess. A. Complete the equation by adding state symbols for the products. You have reactant CaCO3 solid plus 2 HCl aqueous gives CuCl2. So recall all chlorides are soluble except lead, mercury, silver. So it should be soluble. So I will use AQ for this. H2O, water exists in the liquid state. So I will use L. CO2 is carbon dioxide. It exists in the gas state. So I will write G here. B. Figure 5.1 shows how the mass of the reaction mixture changes with time as the reaction proceeds. So is the figure 5.1 and you can see it clearly, the mass of reaction mixture, it decreases. It decreases with time. Number 1, in another experiment, powdered copper 2 carbonate is used instead of large pieces of copper 2 carbonate. All other conditions and the mass of copper 2 carbonate stay the same. Draw a line on the grid in figure 5.1 to show how the mass of the reaction mixture changes with time. Now, initially they are using large pieces of copper 2 carbonate. Now they are using powder form. And you know that powder form, they have large surface area and this also increases the rate of reaction. There are small particles present in the powder form. They are more exposed. So they have better chances to react. So you will have steeper gradient initially. And you have to start the line at 0. You have to start from here, this point, and ends at same final mass. So is the final mass. It will be like that. Which indicate the reaction rate will be faster in this case. Part 2. The initial experiment is repeated using large pieces of copper 2 carbonate and hydrochloric acid of higher concentration. All other conditions stay the same. Describe and explain the difference in rate of reaction when hydrochloric acid of a higher concentration is used. Definitely rate increases, but you will not get marks for this. It's of 2 marks. So it's obvious that the rate will increase. So you can write either reaction is faster or rate increases. Now for the 2 marks, you have to mention there will be more particles per unit volume. More particles per unit volume. You can even write particles are more crowded or particles are more crowded. This will give you 1 mark. For the next mark, you have to write more collision. There will be more collisions per second or the collision frequency will be greater. You can write one of these statements. Part C. Excess copper 2 carbonate is added to 22.0 centimeter cube of 0.5 mole per dm cube hydrochloric acid. Calculate the volume of carbon dioxide released measured at room temperature and pressure. Give your answer to two significant figures. Now we need to calculate the volume of carbon dioxide. So I'm going to show the relationship between hydrochloric acid and carbon dioxide using this equation. We have 2 moles of hydrochloric acid and 1 mole of carbon dioxide. So write 2 moles HCl giving 1 moles of CO2. This information will be needed later on. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I will calculate the moles of hydrochloric acid using this information. Moles of HCl. 0.5 mole per dm cube means 1000 centimeter cube contains 0.5 moles. 1000 centimeter cube contains 0.5 moles. Therefore, 22 centimeter cube contains X moles. Do the cross and equation will be like this. X is equal to 0.5 multiplied by 22 divided by 1000. Point 0.011 moles. Fine. Now you got the moles of hydrochloric acid. We can calculate the moles of carbon dioxide using this information according to the reaction equation. Two moles hydrochloric acid giving 1 mole of carbon dioxide. Therefore, 0.011 moles give X mole of carbon dioxide. Do the cross, you will get to X equal to 0.011 divided by 2. So 0.011 divided by 2, we will get 0.0055 moles. 0.0055 moles. Now, in order to get the volume, we know that 1 volume of any gas, 1 mole of a gas at RTP, RTP means room temperature pressure, occupies a volume of 24 dm cube. So we need to multiply the moles by the 24 in order to calculate the volume of carbon dioxide. So 0.0055 multiplied by 24. The answer is 0.132 dm cube. D1. Describe the observations made when a few drops of aqueous ammonia are added to an aqueous solution containing copper 2 ions. We know that it produces blue precipitates. So I will write blue precipitates. Excess aqueous ammonia is added to an aqueous solution containing copper 2 ions. So this will dissolve in excess to form dark blue solution. So you'll write dissolves to give dark blue solution. Part 2. An ionic compound of copper has the formula Cu2O. Deduce the oxidation number of copper in Cu2O. Now we have two atoms of copper. Cu2O means we have two atoms of copper and oxygen. There's one atom of oxygen. In order to calculate the oxidation number of copper, we need to know the oxidation number of oxygen. Where is oxygen? Oxygen is here in group 6. It must be having -2 as its oxidation number. So I will write 2x plus bracket -2 is equal to overall is equal to 0 because there is no sign on Cu2O. I mean no charge. So it will become 2x minus 2 is equal to 0, or 2x is equal to plus 2, or x is equal to plus 2 by 2. So the answer must be plus 1. So the oxidation number on copper is plus 1. Into next part. Part E, describe how to prepare crystals of ammonium chloride by reacting aqueous ammonia with dilute hydrochloric acid. Now we want to make ammonium chloride by reacting aqueous ammonia with dilute hydrochloric acid. Ammonia, it's an alkali, and dilute hydrochloric acid is an acid. This is the reaction between dilute acid and weak alkali. So we'll go for titration. You can write any three from these. Any three from. First, I will start with titrate. Titrate aqueous ammonia with HCl. Repeat without indicator. Need to add indicator in this in order to check, in order to obtain the neutralization or end point. Repeat without indicator. Next point, evaporate. Through gentle heating. Then you will crystallize through cooling. Last one, cool. Sorry. Last one is dry. So you can write any three of these. Moving to next question, which is question number 6. Figure 6.1 shows the structures of zinc sulfide and disulfur dichloride. Zinc sulfide has a structure similar to diamond. The zinc sulfide is a structure of zinc sulfide similar to diamond. It's a tetrahedral. Diamond also got tetrahedral arrangement. The only difference is that diamond is an allotrope of carbon, which means contain only carbon. In this case, you are having zinc and sulfur atoms. A1, explain why zinc sulfide does not conduct electricity. Use the information in figure 6.1. So we know that diamond does not conduct electricity because of the absence of mobile electrons. So definitely zinc sulfide, it also does not have any mobile electrons. So you write no mobile electrons. No mobile electrons. Mobile electrons are very important for the conduction of electricity. Number 2, predict one other physical property of zinc sulfide. Now comparing it with diamond, it must be having high melting point because it's also a giant structure like diamond. High melting point. You can even write hard. Diamond is hard. It is also hard, just like diamond. B, explain why disulfur dichloride has a low melting point. Use the information in figure 6.1. If you look at the structure, disulfur dichloride, it must be covalent, having covalent bonding. These bonds are covalent, so it's having simple structure. It's a simple molecule. So we write simple molecule with weak intermolecular forces. Part C. Complete figure 6.2 to show the dot and cross diagram for the electronic configuration of disulfur dichloride. Show only the outer shell electrons. First of all, I'm going to show the key here for both sulfur and chlorine. For sulfur, I'm using cross, chlorine, I'm using dot. Now, let's look at the position of sulfur and chlorine. The periodic table sulfur is present in group 6, which means it contains 6 valence electrons. Chlorine, here's chlorine, is present in 7, which means it contains 7 valence electrons. Each sulfur atom needs 2 electrons to complete their valence shells. So, both of these sulfur atoms will share 2 electrons with the other atoms. So, in this case, each of the sulfur atom will be sharing one of their 2 electrons with each other, and one with one or other with chlorine atom. So, for the right hand side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There will be 6 valence electron for this sulfur. Next sulfur, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What about chlorine? Chlorine must be having 7 valence electrons. So, I'm going to show the 7 valence electrons for each chlorine atom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be the final dot and cross diagram for disulfur dichloride. D. Disulfur dichloride reacts with water as shown. H2Cl2 plus 3H2 gives 2HCl plus H2S plus H2SO3. 13.5 gram of disulfur dichloride is reacted with 8 gram of water. Show by calculation that water is in excess. Now, there are two ways. You can either use the mass given or convert this into moles. Convert these masses into moles. Now, I'm converting these masses into moles. So, I need MR of both the compounds here, H2Cl2 as well as H2O. So, MR of H2Cl2, sulfur is here, 32 is its nucleon number or mass number. For chlorine, it's 35.5. So, we have 2 multiplied by 32 plus 2 multiplied by 35.5, which will become 64 plus 71 or 135. What about H2O? It's very easy. Oxygen, group 6. 16 is the mass number, hydrogen is 1. So, 2 multiplied by 1 plus 16, we will get 18. So, now the moles of H2Cl2, 13.5 divided by 135 will become 0.1 moles. What about H2O? 8 divided by 18 will become 0.444 moles. Now, according to the reaction equation, H2Cl2, H2, we have 1 mole reacting with 3 moles. Therefore, 0.1 mole reacting with X mole. Definitely, X becomes 3 multiplied by 0.1 is equal to 3 moles. So 0.3 moles is needed. So 0.444 mole is provided from the data. So hence it's proved that water is in excess. Hence proved that water is in excess. Moving to next part, which is E. Sulfur dioxide is an air pollutant. Number one, state one adverse effect of sulfur dioxide in the air. So it's very common. So non-metal oxides responsible for acid rain. So I will write acid rain. Number two, describe two ways of reducing the emissions of sulfur dioxide in the air. Now you have to look for the look for two ways of reducing the emissions of sulfur dioxide. We have to use low sulfur fuels. So you can write Ne2 from use low sulfur fuels, do not use fossil fuels or use renewable energy resources, flue gas desulfurization or reacting SO2 with CaO or CaO3. So I will write use low sulfur fuels or do not use fossil fuels. Use renewable energy resources. Flue gas desulfurization or reacting SO2 with CaO or CaO3. You can write any two from these. Question number 7, part A. Propanoic acid can be represented by the formula CH3CH2COOH. Number one, propanoic acid reacts with methanol CH3OH to produce an ester. Name the ester formed and draw its displayed formula. Now for the name, recall alkyl group will be coming from the alcohol. So here we are having methanol. So we'll get methyl from methanol and alkanoate from the carboxylic acid, which is propanoic acid here. So we'll get propanoate. Propanoic acid gives propanoate. So the ester must be methyl propanoate. For the displayed formula, remember, you need to remove OH from the alcohol and H from the ester, sorry, carboxylic acid to release water molecule. So methyl, one will be the methyl group C. We have 3 hydrogen atoms for the methyl group. And it's going to attach with the carboxyl carbon O, C double bond O. Now you have CH2 and CH3. Placing hydrogen atoms. This will be the final displayed formula for methyl propanoate. Number 2, propanoic acid is a weak acid. This is a reaction equation CH3CH2COOH plus H2O. Reversible sign CH3CH2COO minus plus H3O positive. Explain how this equation shows that CH3CH2COOH is an acid by referring to proton transfer. Now this hydrogen is removed from this and it's considered as proton because it will be the one having no electron. That's why we call it proton. And it's going to react with water, H2O, and producing H3O positive ion. So what I'm going to write, I will write proton transferred from acid to water. Proton transferred from acid to water. CH3CH2COOH is a weak acid. So how this equation shows, it's not fully dissociated. The acid is not fully dissociated. Or you can even write or ionized. Or the reaction does not go to completion. The reversible sign indicates that this reaction is not complete. Or the reaction does not go to completion. Number 3, propanoic acid reacts with magnesium. Name the two products of this reaction. Now, it's a reaction between magnesium and propanoic acid. Propanoic acid is a carboxylic acid. It behaves like a typical acid when reacted with metals, metal oxides, metal hydroxides, metal carbonates. So it will definitely produce hydrogen gas as one of the product in this reaction, because when metals are reacted with acid, they will produce hydrogen gas. So you write hydrogen gas. One product is hydrogen gas. What the other product? Magnesium will be reacting with the propanoate ion coming from this. So you'll write magnesium propanoate. Magnesium propanoate. So the other product must be magnesium propanoate. Moving to next part, which is part 4. Magnesium is a solid at room temperature. Describe the motion and separation of the particles in a solid. The solid state, we know that the motion must be vibrating about fixed position. So you'll write vibrate about fixed position. What about separation? They are close together. Or you can even write touching. B. Figure 7.1 shows the simplified structures of two molecules that combine to form a polyamide. The top one must be dicarboxylic acid, having carboxylic acid at both the ends. So dicarboxylic acid. And the other structure below is diamine because having amine groups. Diamine. Number 1, complete the diagram in figure 7.2 to show the structure of two repeat units of this polyamide. Show all of the atoms and all of the bonds in the linkages. So the blank box, it must be having NH on both ends. Remember, the combination involves, in this case, must be condensation. In the condensation, there will be release of a simple molecule like water. In this case, OH will be released from each end of this dicarboxylic acid and H from each this diamide. So the product is simple. What I'm going to do, just show NH. No need to write NH2. One H is already removed. This end also NH. And it will be attached to C double bond O. The same way, the other end, C double bond O is attached to NH of this blank box. Blank box represents carbon chain. Now, it's also again attached with carbon double bond O. Other end, carbon double bond O. This will be the final polymer obtained in this case. Number 2, polyamides are polymers. State the meaning of the term polymer. Now they are asking the meaning of the term polymer. It's a large molecules produced from many smaller molecules. Large molecules produced from many smaller molecules or monomers. Number 3, polyamides are condensation. Polymers state one difference between condensation polymerization and addition polymerization. So you have to write difference between condensation and addition polymerization. So you can write any one of these, any one from refer to product produce, like in case of addition, only one product obtained. In case of condensation, polymer produced along with the release of a simple molecule. If you want, you can even mention the name of this simple molecule. It can be either water or hydrogen chloride. You only have these two. Or you can refer to the empirical formula. Refer to empirical formula. In case of addition, polymer have same empirical formula. Like polymer and monomer. You can write polymer and monomer. They have same molecular formula, condensation, polymer and monomers have different. Empirical formula. You can even write addition uses carbon-carbon double bonds. Condensation have or contain monomers with two different functional groups. Thanks for watching. Press like and share my videos. For more videos, subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon.